Alright, welcome back, guys. If you guys watched my last video, I showed you guys how to carve this out and bevel the edges. But now in this video, we're just going to add some wear and tear to these bricks. But before we get started and start adding the wear and tear to this, we're going to make a tool that's going to make it a lot easier for us. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to go over the materials that you guys are going to need to use. And as always, I have pictures at the end of the video showing all the stuff I've used in this video. So let me move this aside for you guys. You're going to need some craft sticks, or other known as popsicle sticks. You're going to need a metal roller, a sandpaper or a nail file. I just like using this because it's a fine grit, a fine tip Sharpie, and some sort of cutting tool, whether it's an X-Acto blade or snap blade, or what I like to use, these are to clip dog's nails. My dog doesn't use this one anymore. And those are all the things that you guys are going to need for this video. So let's jump into it. So we're going to start off with 5 popsicle sticks. We're going to take one to the side and look at these 4. These are the ones that we're going to manipulate first. So you're going to need to grab your roller. You're going to need to grab your fine tip Sharpie pen. So what you're basically going to do is grab your ruler, and then this is on inches. And you're going to line up this point right here to the line, basically to your 0 line. As you can see, I have 4 inches already measured out. We're going to draw the line right there. And we're going to cut on this line. You guys could cut on the line, like I said, with your X-Acto blade or a pair of scissors, but I like using these nail clippers for dogs. It just makes it easier to line up the line as so, and then I just press down and it clips it pretty much straight. If yours doesn't come out straight because you're using scissors or something else, or even if you're using one of these, that's what the nail file is for. You could place it down on a flat surface and grab your piece and just sand off the extra parts. So you're going to grab, like I said, we grabbed the first 4, and you're going to grab these same ones. And instead of measuring out, because, you know, that would waste some time, you could just line them up, hold it in your hand, and cut. And they're basically all going to be the same size. For some reason, if you have trouble, you could use the sanding tool, like I said, or the sandpaper. So I'm going to finish cutting these out, and then we're going to jump on to the next part of making this tool. Alright, so here we are with the ruler again and our fine tip Sharpie. We're going to grab that last popsicle stick. I already cut off the end on this side just to make it a straight edge, so it's a lot easier to measure out. Once again, you're going to line it up on where your 0 would be, and we're going to measure out 3 1-inch pieces. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I use a fine tip Sharpie pen because it makes it more accurate. It gives you a finer line to have less of a problem lining everything up. So as you can see, I already measured out the 3 1-inch pieces, and we're going to cut those out the same way that we cut out the last pieces. So I'm going to use my clippers here. I'm going to line it up on the line. I'm going to clip each piece off. And do be careful if you're using clippers like this. The pieces do go flying. Alright, so that's all the pieces for this tool cut out. The next part is I'm going to bring all the pieces over here. I'm going to make sure they're all sanded and lined up very well, and we're going to glue it together with the hot glue gun. Alright, now that we have all our pieces cut out and sanded, and they're all roughly the same size, now we're going to use the hot glue gun and put everything together. But just before I glue it, I'm going to recap. We have 4 pieces right here that are 4 inches long, and then we have 3 pieces right here that are 1 inch long each. Alright, so we're going to grab our handle for this tool, are going to be the 4-inch long ones. And basically you're just going to run some hot glue. Sorry about that. Right in the center of this. And you're going to grab your other piece, stick it on top, and do be careful. Hot glue is hot. Don't want you guys burning yourself. If you're underage, have an adult help you with this. So I'm going to glue these last two pieces on here, and this is going to form our handle. You can use super glue. It's a lot less messier, but hot glue I have an abundance of. And you just gotta make sure this top part is lined up pretty well. Grab this last piece. Just make sure they're all even as possible. And so that's going to be our handle for the tool. And now these 3 1-inch pieces we're going to glue in the center of this, straight across, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to add a generous amount of hot glue right here. Try to make it as center as possible and as level as possible. There we go. You want to line these up as best as possible too. And what this tool does, it's going to help us push in those bricks. So it's not going to just be a straight flat surface. It's going to actually give it some character to it. Just make sure they're evenly on there. And why this is 1 inch is because it's going to be the size of one brick. So that's going to help us push them in really good. So if you're satisfied with it, let it dry, and then we're going to actually come back and start actually adding some damage to these walls. Alright, we're back with the bricks right in front of us. We got our new tool done and ready to go. Has that curved edge on there so it's more ergonomic. And we have our X-Acto blade. So now we're going to get ready to do some wear and tear on these bricks. So let's get into it. If you messed up on your bricks, like I made an example right here for you guys. That line's not supposed to be there. This is a time where you could hide your mistakes. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to take our X-Acto blade, or our X-Acto knife, excuse me, and we're just going to take a good chunk out of this brick. So you're hiding your mistakes. If you made any mistakes, a good technique is to kind of like get the corners of the bricks, take those chunks out. Really gives them a weathered look. Just pick it randomly. Try not to make a pattern. If you make a pattern, it's a human eye could detect it. So if you're going one brick here, and you're just going straight across this way, your eye's gonna say that doesn't look right. So just try to do as random as possible. Just taking chunks off randomly. We could start putting in some cracks. And all you want to do is just run your blade and just make a crack. Just make sure your cracks make sense. Like if you have a crack going down this way, you don't want to make one going up this way, unless you're going to do like a whole indentation in there. Other thing you could do without the X-Acto blade, you could grab your fingernails and just go in and start taking chunks out. It's really noisy, so I won't do it on camera for you guys, but I'll take a chunk out right here, and then I can show you. You could just pinch it and take a chunk out, dig your nail in there, whatever you want to do. So yeah, just try to make it as random as possible. You can go in here and just take a big hole out of here, just jab your X-Acto blade in there and cut, a circle out and then bevel those edges. I'm just add a couple more cracks here just for right now. Probably come back to this piece later when we actually get into the painting tutorials. And to demonstrate the tool that you guys made in this video, you just pick any brick that you want, any random brick, and then you just line it up. As you can see, it does fit the size of the brick, and all you have to do is just push down, and you have a recessed brick in there already. And like I said, this is the same thing too. You want to pick random bricks. You kind of don't want to make a pattern because your eye will pick up on it. And of course, the harder you press down, the further the brick gets recessed. This is a really good tool. It's going to make life easier on you guys. As you can see, the wall is already looking like it's getting weathered. Just a couple more pieces. And you can really just work at this wall on your diorama, and you could just make it as torn up as you want. And of course, if you guys want to simulate bullet holes, all you have to do is grab your X-Acto knife and just stick the tip in there and just twirl your blade around. You can also go on Google and check out bullet hole patterns, because guns do have a pattern of how their bullets land, so that could help you out to make it more realistic. But basically, all you have to do is stick your blade in there, twirl it around, and then kind of swing it around to bevel those edges. You can make bullet holes as well. Watching, guys, I hope you guys learned something. This tool is going to save your life when you're making brick walls. Don't forget, I always leave pictures at the end of this video showing of all the materials I used. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and hit that sexy subscribe button. As you can see, I already marked